There are many animals in this world that are conditioned to hunt to survive. This means they need to choose their prey wisely, and usually they do. Species throughout the animal kingdom, from lions to dogs, pick fights on a daily basis that they know they can win in. And most of the time they do, sometimes for food and sometimes just to protect their owners or families. So in many ways, animals are just like us and just like us. There are times when they pick fights with the wrong opposition. In some cases, this is due to bad luck, and in others, just plain stupidity. I'm sure we've all been there before, picking on someone we thought we could handle, only to be shocked when that someone packed more of a punch than we realized. Today we're going to look at when that's happened in the animal kingdom and the carnage that happened next. And in this video, we're going to count down the most brutal examples of an unexpected animal mismatches in animals mess with the wrong opponents. Number 10. Raccoon versus chimps. This is our first one-sided battle in the animal kingdom, and not one you'd necessarily expect in the wild. This is because this battle didn't happen in the wild, but in captivity for a crowd to see at St. Louis Zoo. To be precise, in this video, a raccoon tries his luck and attempts to steal some food from a chimp enclosure. Big mistake. Going into the enclosure in the first place is brave, but attempting to steal food is just plain stupid. The raccoon sneaks into the chimp's turf and is met with not just one animal about 10 times bigger than him, but a whole family, just waiting to give him a good old family welcome, which means being stalked around the pen and hunted until eventually he's grabbed by one particularly angry chimp that flames the poor little critter spitting across the pen before hitting a wall. Now, I never saw this happening in the evergreen forest in an episode of The Raccoons. If I had, it would have been pretty funny, but that was a cartoon. This is real and looks like it would have hurt quite a bit. But don't worry, our furry friend was able to scurry off through a pipe and away from his chimp. Hell, that's our first entry on our list of animals messing with the wrong opponent. But if you thought that was crazy, wait until you see number 1. Number 9. Goat versus electric fence. Sometimes our opponents don't have to be the same species as us or even another member of the animal kingdom. Sometimes it can be something as basic as a fence. What can be dangerous about a fence? I hear you cry. Well, try putting some voltage through it, and a fence can become a worthy opponent for an animal, and in this case, a goat. In this clip, the goat attempts to get some food that's just out of reach of his pen. Not realizing that there's an electric shock coming his way, he's agonizingly close to that perfect bit of grass he's desperate to chew on. But unfortunately for him, instead he gets to chew on an electric current. Instead, the shock sends the goat darting across the field, taking his anchor point with him. But it doesn't stop there. Rather than shocking the animal into submission, it sends the creature into a wild charge around his pen. Let this be a lesson to all of us that the grass maybe isn't greener on the other side. Number 8. Cat versus sheep. Now, are you a cat person or a dog person? If you're a cat person, you may not like this next video so much, but if you're a dog person, you're going to love it. If you're a sheep person, you're really going to love it. This is because, like a typical cat, this feline is strutting around thinking it owns the place. It gives its sheep counterpart a few paws and gets at the teeth to try and show his boss. Little does this cat know that Mr. Sheep has something up his sleeve his head. With the cat off guard, he lifts his head to the tip of his pen and nudges the smug cat off the side and onto the floor. We're assuming the cat landed on its feet, as they always do, and didn't exactly lose one of its 9 lives in the process. But we think its ego was a little bit bruised from this, and if anything, made it perfectly clear that in this case, it was the sheep rather than the cat that got the cream. Number 7. Gorilla versus gorilla. This is our only interspecies conflict on our list, and it isn't exactly the most brutal, but serves as a reminder that you shouldn't mess with a gorilla, especially not a daddy gorilla. Filmed in San Diego Zoo, this footage shows a younger gorilla trying to walk past dad. He thinks he's made it, but daddy pulls out a cheeky sucker punch just to make sure the family knows who the king of this enclosure is. Gorillas aren't too far away from humans in terms of how families operate, and we've all been in situations where dad has felt the need to assert dominance. Whether it's trying to beat you at bowling or giving you a sucker punch, it sends out the same message: I'm dad and I'm the boss. Number 6. Rooster versus bulls. Now, a rooster and a bull represent quite a significant size difference, not to mention a herd of bulls. What if I told you these two faced off against each other? You'd probably think that the bull could step on the rooster and the fight would be over. Well, you'd think wrong. This particular rooster hasn't heard the phrase pick on some of your own size and is quite happy attempting to kick this particular bull in the face while flapping its wings. The bull brings its friends for reinforcement, but you're thinking this is the end of this rooster's reign as undisputed king of this pen. Again, you're wrong. The rooster pulls out the signature move and the bulls are scared of leaving this cock as the king of the farm. We're halfway through our list now, and if you think what we've seen so far is unbelievable, wait until the number 1 time that an animal messed with the wrong opponent. But before that, 4 more videos, starting with number 5, ram first punching back. Another example of a goat-like animal picking a fight with an inanimate object. Now this time it's a ram attempting to get the better of a red punching bag. However, on this particular day, the punching bag puts up a fair fight and refuses to be beaten easily. This may not be the kind of training you are used to from Molly Mayweather or Fury, but the ram is giving it everything he's got. Unfortunately for him, the more effort he puts into ramming the bag, the more force comes right back to meet him. Unlike pro boxers, the ram doesn't appear to learn his lesson and gets a battering in the process. Number 4. Gen 2 Penguin vs. Petrel Bird. There's no doubting that penguins are cute animals. Happy Feet has taught us all that. But have you ever seen a penguin flare up and defend itself? That's exactly what happened in this next video. If you mess with the Gen 2 penguins young, you best get ready for a fight. On this occasion, the animal that fancied penguin for breakfast was a petrel with a wingspan of up to 2 meters. The seabird attempts to pluck a young Gen 2 from ashore, but Daddy Penguin is having none of it. He attacks the bird and forces his baby from its grasp. It's not easy. Dad needs to give it a couple of goes, but gets there in the end, and his baby is safe. One thing to learn from this countdown, apart from the fact that goats are stupid, is that you shouldn't mess with Dad. Number 3. Otters vs. monkeys. One is a river-dwelling, fish-eating, badger-like creature. The other is a tree-inhabiting mammal that lives in packs and mostly eats fruit and nuts. These two are pretty different animals from very different habitats. That being said, they faced off in this video when a bullied otter decided to fight back. Firstly, a pack of monkeys aggravated the otters from a riverside. They scratched and prodded the otters until they had no choice but to retreat. But docile otters seem they were far from done. They came back and had the first opportunity of spotting a lone monkey by the river's edge, pulled it into the water, then forced it deeper by surrounding it in a pack like something out of a horror film. The other monkeys can only watch as their pal is drowned alive. A lesson here that bullying doesn't pay. Number 2. Zebra vs. wildebeest. Have thought these two animals would pal up considering they keep getting eaten by every predator in Africa. But apparently not. In this footage, zebras and wildebeests are grazing peacefully. This doesn't last long. However, as one wildebeest appears to venture a little too close into zebra territory, one zebra delivers a swift kick to the face that any Muay Thai boxer would be proud of and leaves an unfortunate wildebeest out for the count while the herd scatters. I can only assume the cops were called and they were able to iron this whole thing out before our number 1 video. Number 1. Rhino vs. The most spectacular showdown on this list sees a humble warthog mess with the wrong rhino. It appears as though warthogs and rhinos are dining together in perfect harmony, but it doesn't last. It's common knowledge that you should never steal off a rhino's plate, and if it isn't, then it should be because one of the warthogs attempts just that. For his efforts, the warthog gets a horn of the belly and is lifted off the ground so high he goes out of shot only to come down with a thud. This warthog won't be making the same mistake again either because he won't be walking anywhere near a rhino again or simply won't be walking again, so that's the animals mess with the wrong opponent. Which was your favorite showdown? Which animals would you like to see face off? Let us know in the comments below, and if you liked the video, click the thumbs up icon, and for more animal face-offs, check out our video. Thanks for watching you.